Hello everyone, welcome to Startup Radio. This is Dhruv.
Today we have with us Mr. Naman Gupta. Naman has started a very interesting venture called Trayati.
Hi, Katie. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Trayati has been started very recently, only a few months back, and it's an effort to bring about transformation in the life of others and of myself through yoga and music. We run yoga programs, and we also use music to bring about transformation at not just physical but also mental and emotional level. The word Trayati means liberation. So, at a gross level, you can understand it as liberation from misery, from disease. And at a spiritual level, it means liberation from this cycle of life and death, which, as per Vedic philosophy, is the ultimate end goal of human evolution.
You combine both yoga and music to create an experience. But how exactly is Trayati different?
See, so in the past, I would say 20-25 years, the awareness about yoga has grown very rapidly, not just in India, but like throughout the world. But what has happened is people's idea of yoga, up to a large extent, is still confined to as something which does something to our body. Mainly, people view asanas and postures as 90% of yoga, and then a little bit of pranayama and maybe probably some meditation. So this is idea of most people's yoga, and this is the form of yoga which is also being taught at lots of studios and by lots of teachers. There are very few genuine yogic traditions which have continued over like decades and maybe hundreds of years or more, who are actually imparting yoga in its true sense. So yoga is a science for your mind and emotions, right? What we do for the body is limited to the realms of Ayurveda. The Vedas have given us a science for the body, which is Ayurveda, and for the mind we have yoga. My intention is to not limit yoga into its physical aspects, but go into the real aspects of it, which is actually concerning our much more subtle layers of existence, which go into your breath, which is the pranamaya kosha, and then your mental thoughts, which is your manomaya kosha, your energy body, which is your vijnanmaya kosha, and then your soul, which is the term used in yoga for that is the anandmaya kosha. So these subtler aspects of our body, how can yogic practices actually help us purify these subtler layers of existence and utilize them? So that's our main focus, and I think that gives us some uniqueness in terms of our practices.
So, what exactly do you offer in terms of you explained that how unique it is, and how do you go beyond the physical activity of doing a yoga exercise and bringing it to mental and psychic level? So, what kind of offers these are? Do you run classes, workshops, or what are the key offerings of Trayati today, and what is the batch size?
Our like typical programs, I would say, currently are of the duration of 20 to 25 hours, which are spread over a month. And people come to us and they take these practices home with them, and then they are expected to do them by their own during the week. So this was our first program that we ran. We have also done certain outreach programs with certain NGOs who are into education for underprivileged children. So we have done some yoga sessions for those kids. That's number two. Going forward, we have two special you can say programs which are in pipeline, which are coming up, which are in planning stage. One is for children, how a child can manage their their emotions and how they can manage stress. That's something which I think is lacking in the current educational system, and we are trying to introduce some programs for these 6 to 15-year-olds, which we could impart and help them de-stress in life, because lots of mental issues are coming up in very early age, which is very surprising these days. So that's number one. And the second thing which is in pipeline is a yoga program for office employees. We are building something which would be a mix of digital bit-size yogic lessons and practices, combined with a good follow-up of how regular people are being in their home practice, and accordingly they'll be rewarded for that. And along with that, also a component of human interaction, and an instructor would be interacting with them once or twice every 1 week or 2 week, do any course correction, and if the practices they are doing correct or not. So these are the two things which we have in mind.
What message do you have for our listeners, for future entrepreneurs in India?
I don't think I would qualify for advising entrepreneurs on business as such because I don't have much experience of it myself. But yes, I would like to say that no matter what you're working on, how busy you are, what kind of organization you're running, you must always spend at least 15-20 minutes on your mental health and on your emotions. You should take out 10 minutes a day to just do what you're not doing the rest of the 23 hours and 50 minutes, which is to just watch your thoughts.
So practice 10 minutes of watching your own thoughts. That's the message we have from Naman Gupta, and we wish him all the very best for Trayati. Thank you for joining us on Startup Radio. If you are building something interesting, please write to me on dhruv@kdventures.in. Keep listening to our episodes. Stay tuned.